Alright, good evening ladies and gentlemen and Xenos of all ages. Welcome to another Tactica Imperialis live stream with hopefully no technical difficulties. This evening is going to be the start of a week of streams that are going to be really fun because it's Idoneth week, alright? It's Idoneth week. Yeah, I've had a decent day, alright, thank you. I've been writing up some notes for my lecture courses, getting some videos ready, just basic stuff really. But not a bad day all round, I suppose, considering I had such a lie-in because of staying up rather late doing one thing and another. But hey, it's Idoneth week. The Idoneth Deepkin previews have started. There is an article out tonight, and I want to go over it. I've read it already, and it's super fun. It's so fun. So fun, and I want to talk about it. I really do. I'm also hopefully going to be doing a little bit of painting, or hobbying generally, because I haven't actually done the construction part yet. And beyond that, just a general hobby chat, because that's always fun to do. I also learned that the Fast Riders and the other Shadespire warbands actually have Warscrolls. I didn't know that was a thing, so I found that out today. Thus, I might actually be a bit more tempted to pick the buggers up, because they are quite fun, and they look cool, and they actually have some use, so that might be something worth doing. So, that's enough about me. How is everybody doing this fine Sunday evening, afternoon? Might technically be Monday morning for certain people, though I think those people are probably asleep at 8:30 European time, because it'd be about, like, what? Stupid o'clock in the morning. I don't know. But, yes. Can I put the link in the chat? I won't link the article. What I will do is I will cover the article on screen, like I usually do with my live streams. So we'll be going over it in a minute. I just want to do a couple of minutes just getting people in and having early discussion and just those sorts of things. I just like to have a little bit of an introductory time before we go in and do the news, as I like to say, and all of that fun chicanery and stuff. So it won't be linked. It will be put up on screen for you, basically. And the brush. You did something to it. I put a brush through it. That is all I did, is I put an extra brush through it because I was sick of the chat going on about it. I've done absolutely nothing. It certainly hasn't been cut, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, that's beside the point. Buenos Aires, that would be circa 7 hours behind me, so probably early afternoon time-ish, maybe either 12:30 or 1:30. I'm going to go with 12:30, maybe 11:30. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 12:30. I just quite like knowing basic time zone calibration and conversion for the major time zones that I get. Whether that be European, GMT, or BST as it is now, Eastern, Pacific. It's just nice to know the basic times, because they're the people who are usually around when I stream. Dear me. 3:27. It's only 5-hour difference to Argentina. Wow. I'm surprised. Because UK to Florida is 5 hours. I'm an hour on from the UK because I'm based in France, and I didn't realise South America was... Okay. My maths is bad then. My apologies. 10:34 AM. Ouch. Well, at least it's not too early to be up. I mean, 10 hours back. Yeah, that's Pacific time-ish. Strict-ish. Maybe, like, something like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm not going to spend too long on speculation. The will of the Emperor. You don't know me if you're putting the Emperor on me. Good grief, no. No, that's not my style whatsoever. But good effort. So, is there anything people want to bring up, early questions or discussion before we dive into the Idoneth? And yes, dive in is actually such a very appropriate term for this army. So, yes, I'm happy to dive in, or if you want to just ask any early questions, have an early discussion, I'm more than happy to do either of those things. So just let me know in the chat, as you always do, you lovely people. South America's kind of moved 1 hour ahead compared to NA. Ah, I see. How fares the Mortal Realms? Wet. Wet, because the Idoneth are coming. And they're very interesting. Lol, that... It's not a meme, it was just a pun. It was a pun, it's not a meme. There's a difference between puns and memes. That was puns. You may follow the will of the Emperor. I don't. Dearie me. Wales. Oh, that's more my neck of the woods then. I'm based in England when I'm not in France for this year, but I'm normally based in England, so that's fair enough. Got some friends who are Welsh. And family, actually. Yeah, friends and family who are Welsh. All puns are memes. Puns are not memes. I will not accept that puns are memes. They are two entirely different things. I'm sorry, but I do not agree with your assessment that puns are memes. No. No, not a chance. Not a chance of that. But, whatever. Seems ether is all over the place. Well, the ether sea is as it is. So, yes. Well, this is like it's going to be a very interesting evening. I'm not sure how long I'm going to go tonight because I've got quite early start tomorrow, and but I've also started late. So maybe we'll go 2.5 hours. I certainly don't expect us to be going for 4 hours. No chance of that. I somehow don't think so. But we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. I'm willing to roll with it, really. If the hobby just takes over, then, well, screw it. Fine, whatever. That's a definition of a meme, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't always apply, at least not in the hobby community, because Caldor Drago is a meme. Cato Sicarius is a meme. But yes. Me making water puns are not memes. They are just puns. And I will argue that against anyone. Ah, dearie me. Right, let me just make sure I've got the screen cap all set up, just while I can. Any frame drops, I apologise, just while I'm checking things. Yep, it's all good. Yep, looks like we're all ready, so I'm ready to jump over whenever you guys are ready, really. Because I don't structure these streams, really. I sort of like, I want to talk about the Idoneth thing, but I don't want to make a video about it, though I might make a... Ooh, do I make a video at the end of the week? That's tempting, to have a bonus, to have a little extra video go out. Hello! Is it worth putting an extra video out while I do an Idoneth review? No, I'm not good enough at the game. I'm not good enough at the game. But it will be fun to discuss, for sure. Urgold can float the Deepkin as he fight the Fire Slayers. No, they can't. Fish cannot live on land in the Mortals. Alright, I'm just going to jump over because I think that will allay the questioning ever so slightly. So, the Idoneth Deepkin, who are they? Joins us. Oh, they did the dive pun as well. Oh. So, lore, very, very brief lore, because I did a full lore stream last week. Bit late playing Winter Assault. We're only going for 5 or 10 minutes, you haven't missed anything. So the Idoneth Deepkin were created by Teclis to act as successors to the elven races of the world that was. They were to be known as the Sithai, the Enlightened, I think was the elven translation. Oh, sorry, the English translation of the Elvish. Whilst most elves are passionate, sensitive and emotional, a bit too emotional some might say, the Idoneth bear deep spiritual trauma from their time with Slaanesh, and they shunned the teachings of Teclis, causing him to try to kill them. That's actually a revelation. I didn't know that. It may have been that I just couldn't quite translate everything in White Dwarf. I just thought they ran away. I didn't realise that Teclis actively tried to destroy them. And if that's the case, when we get the actual Sithai or whatever they call the Light Elves, that will be a very interesting interaction as Teclis comes across the High King. I'm very curious as to how those two are going to interact now, because if Teclis actually tried to kill them, then hello, interesting. Also, can I just point out, this artwork is flipping sick. This artwork is actually sick. So, they're fighting... What are they fighting? Skaven? Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Pestilence, but it's definitely Skaven. And you've got, in the top right, you've got the Soul Render, you've got an Eidolon at the top, you've got Fangmora Eels, you've got an Amati Swordsman at the bottom. Up in the top left, I'm not sure, maybe a Deep Mare, although I'm not sure. Either way, fabulous piece of artwork. And now you're making Dawn memes. God damn it, you're making Dawn memes. And yeah, that art is amazing. Like, one thing I'll always say, Games Workshop's art team are utterly fantastic at their jobs. Like, always. GW art is so rarely, if ever, bad. It is so rarely bad. I can't think of a particularly bad piece. I really, really can't. So full credit to the art teams. I just putting that out there. And yeah, it is absolutely fascinating, and I'll be very interested to get the full story when we get the battle tome on the 21st, or if we get more information over the next couple of weeks, over the next week. So, the Idoneth Deepkin fled beneath the oceans of the Malta Realms, drawn there by an ancestral link with Matlan, the old elven god of the seas. That's true, they were originally the followers of Matlan from the old world, the last to be consumed by Slaanesh, and thus the first to be rescued. If you didn't remember that, I mentioned this in Friday's stream, but there you go. Once there, they made a discovery that the vast majority of their young were born with withering, feeble souls. It appeared the race was on the brink of extinction until the art of soul theft was discovered. The Idoneth could extend their lives and grant new souls to their young by stealing those of other sentient creatures. And they hate it. They hate it. They were utterly horrified by the fact they have to do it, and they don't like it at all. But it's the only way that they stay alive. And, yeah, sorry other races, and sorry Idoneth. Ouch. Dark Elves last? No. Well, what do you mean Dark Elves last? Do you mean Malerian Elves? Because like when you say Dark Elves, I'm jumping straight back into Fantasyville. So when you say that, are you meaning You've slightly lost me there. I'm sorry, you've slightly lost me. Do you mean that the followers of Matlan and the servants, like those including Acelin, were included Acelin, the Sea Lord of Lothern? Admittedly, he betrayed Tyrion to Malekith to allow Malekith to become the Phoenix King, but I wouldn't say that they're actually strictly Dark Elves. So the Inari men, rather than restoring their race to, well, there is a bit of a Ynnari vibe going, admittedly, with the Soul Render having potentially the ability to boost other Namati. There is a little bit of a Ynnari Drukhari vibe going on with the Idoneth. I won't deny it. There is a bit of a vibe of that, but could be worse. Oh no. Oh no. But yes. What's this? This is the Sea Elves, Rowan. This is the Idoneth, the faction that I may or may not end up buying because I can't make my bloody mind up. Honestly, I'm very, very glad that I'm actually in France right now and unable or unwilling to buy a new army while I'm here. I want to finish Project Stormcast. The fact I'm here means I can't just jump in and buy the Daughters of Deepkin. It gives me time to cool off, reflect on the lore for both armies, reflect on the rules for both armies and the models for both armies, and actually make an informed decision. So as much as I'm like, I was super going in on the Daughters of Cain, and I'm probably going to do the same with the Idoneth, I'm not like dropping money on them, which is kind of useful. So it could certainly be a lot worse. Eaten by Slaanesh, the last to have that happen were the first to be rescued, so that leads to me thinking that the Dark Elves were the first who will end up being saved. Oh! So the original Dark Elves were the first consumed by Slaanesh, thus will be the last faction we get. That's what you're saying? Right. Je comprends. I've got you. I understand. By that logic then, we'll get Tyrian and Teclis light elves before we get Malerian shadow elves, by that logic. They're going to be my entrance to AOS. I completely don't blame you. But let's go into some rules, shall we? So, the Grand Alliance. The Idoneth have a tenuous and difficult relationship with Order and even other elves. Following their discovery, they've made for stalwart allies against Chaos, good, but have continued their raids on humans, elves, and even the Sylvaneth, bad. In short, the Idoneth Deepkin might fight for Order, but they're not exactly role models. Are they going to be worse than the Daughters of Cain in the eyes of Order? I think they will be, but then again, it's like occasional raids and soul stealing versus all-out blood sacrifice. So guess who sold his kidney to buy 2-star collectings? If you only got 100 quid for a kidney, then you got conned. You got conned. Anyway, this is the Ether Sea. This is what someone was asking earlier about the fish on land. Having seen the Idoneth Deepkin, you may be wondering, if they're fighting on land, where all those fish come from, how is that turtle flying? The answer is the Ether Sea. I'm spelling it with an A, even though they've spelled it with an A and with an E. I'm calling it the Ether Sea with an A, because that just fits with elves, because they're now spelt with an A. And yes, all elves should hate chaos. Marathi does, the Matland followers do, almost certainly. Tyrion obviously does, and anyone who served under Tyrion, Teclis, Marathi, and Malerian will of course hate chaos, because they hate Slanesh, if they're brought up by their gods to think that way. So, yes, of course they will. Like, some of the elves who were free, and just in the free cities, well, they've been living under Sigmar in the free cities, so they're going to not exactly be keen on chaos either. Hi. But yes. While the Idoneth Deepkin fight, they summon a magical ocean around themselves, allowing the most powerful sea beasts to join the battle, even if it's taking place miles inland, and letting all troops take advantage of their specialised undersea training. Over time, the battlefield itself changes, spouting coral, shipwrecks, and shoals of iridescent fish. You'll find a few of the latter in every Idoneth Deepkin kit for customising. They've turned the fish into nurglings. Literally, they've made fish into nurglings. So they're just going to be in every kit that you can just put on your bases and stuff. But yes, the Ether Sea and the strange powers possessed by the Idoneth are represented by 2 allegiance abilities. So, for comparison, the Daughters of Cain got Fanatical Faith and they got the Blood Rites. Nurgle got the Circle of Life, the Stormcast got Silence of the Storm. That's what we mean by... by allegiance abilities. I think the soul stealing will be a big no-no in Order's eyes. Well, if it's either soul stealing or death, I think that honestly, Sigmar might want to give them a bit of a crew-like things. Like, would you mind awfully not doing it to other Order factions if you can help it, please? Could you do it on Chaos Forces or something? Several Order groups are doing the soul stealing, but none so overtly as the Idoneth.
You just made a bloody Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Are you serious? Yu-Gi-Oh references? Really? For one side soul stealing, for the other murderous blood orgies. These elves are not subtle. No, they're not. The Daughters of Cain and the Idoneth, well, the Idoneth were just recluses and they didn't get discovered until quite recently, but yeah. They're not exactly subtle, and they're not exactly nice either. The light elves and the shadow elves are going to be fascinating. Like, the light elves might actually be nice. The shadow elves, oh, I have no idea. It's gonna be glorious. And yes, I can say that because it's WrestleMania tonight, so I can get away with doing that. So, who's excited for some allegiance abilities to see how the Idoneth are going to work? Because trust me, it's bloody terrifying. Sorry, I forgot this wasn't TTS. Yes, sorry. I'm happy to roll with memes, but some memes are too memey even for me to meme. Also, I want to have a drink. I want a drink. I'll just get that as usual. Sounds like Teclis effed up big time. We don't know. Like, it seems to me like the problem with the Idoneth as they became may have actually been intrinsic and not techless. We don't know whether techless screwed up or whether the Idoneth are just stuffed. So we're making a similar thing to the normal Guard of Nurgle kind of thing on the battlefield, putting coral and shipwrecks everywhere. Maybe, we'll see. Funny, I always expected Tyrion to F up. Details. So, I'm just going to get a quick, very, very quick drink. Get myself a glass and stuff. So, yes, just give me a second. Let me get a drink, and then we'll go into the allegiance abilities of the Idoneth. Glass. Oh, did I need that? I'm not even going to ask what that's in reference to. Probably I don't want to know. So, allegiance abilities. Look at this mother trucker. The Idoneth Deepkin seem to disappear from the consciousness of their enemies almost instantly, which can make keeping track of them on the battlefield nightmarish for budding commanders. This is represented by Forgotten Nightmares, a rule that makes the Idoneth resilient against ranged weapons. Missile weapons can only be used to target an Idoneth Deepkin unit with this trait if it is the closest visible enemy unit. Oh my God. That could be brutal. Utterly brutal. I'll just let you guys catch up. Yeah, this is so powerful if used correctly. So, your characters are unsnipeable. Your monsters are shielded. You just, you don't have, cheap spam units like goblins and grots. But, they don't have little spam units like griff hounds or gobbos or whatever that you just put a line of to block all day. But now you just have a line of Namati that protect your cavalry from ever being shot. Your heroes, untouchable. Your monsters, borderline untouchable. Oh, this has the potential to utterly break the Idoneth. This has the potential to be utterly busted if played correctly. However, must be noted, this is only for missile weapons, and most armies in this game do not revolve around shooting. I mean, I don't know the percentages, but most Stormcast armies go face. Bloodbound, go face. Nurgle, go face. Tzeentch, magic, not missile, doesn't count. Orcs, go face. Fire Slaves, go face. Beastclaw, go face for the most part. They have guns, but they usually do mighty close range. Most armies in this game don't actually worry about missile units, but this is still powerful because of the mainly hero protection. No hero sniping, as you say. That's probably the most powerful part of this ability, is the no hero sniping. I don't know. For my Stormcast army as a Vanguard player, this is hell. This is actual hell to fight. Now, Idoneth are hell to fight for my Vanguard army. But, I don't know. I feel like most armies in this game will actually just work around this by having enough combat or magic that it doesn't actually matter. I don't know. It looks really good on paper, and I might have actually, and I think I basically summed up like how people will probably look at it. It's like, wow, this looks amazing, but when you stop and think about it, maybe not. I think that has to be considered, that it looks great on paper, but I don't know how great it will be in practice. Yes, Slanesh does also go face. I was more just like listing off armies with battle tomes because like everything else could get updated. Yeah, safe cavalry too, so like your light cavalry of your Fangmora eels and your heavy missile sharks. What's the name of the what's the official name of the sharks? I know the turtles are Leviathan and the eels are Fangmora. What's the name of the shark? Hang on. What is the name of that down there shark? Dwarf. I love being bilingual sometimes. Alopex. Alopex. That's it. Just one word. Artillery. Yeah, it will utterly dunk on artillery. If I think I know how artillery works, that could dunk on artillery. It will not work against Daughters of Cain. It will not work against Daughters of Cain. Daughters of Cain are the biggest army of go face fast that you'll ever see. They are super go face. However, this is just a really nice to have. What makes this super powerful is their secondary trait, which is kind of a mix of blood rights and so they have a shot so that the other armies don't jump the shot. More memes, ignore. So, the Idoneth Deepkin's link to the sea is further represented by Tides of Death, a powerful new mechanic somewhere between the Cycle of Corruption and the Blood Rights. Each battle round you will receive a different bonus rewarding a specific type of play. The strongest will be those with balanced forces capable of making the most of every step. So Tomoe Infection is known in Techless went all super prototype on his first elves and effed up in the beta testing, go figures. It seems to be implied that the Idoneth had just had some sort of inbuilt corruption in their soul, some sort of darkness in their soul that Techless couldn't fix. I don't know. So the Tides of Death table, I can't get this all on the screen unfortunately, but on turn 1, in the first battle round, your entire army counts as being in cover. So if you thought you were hard to shoot already, you're now also getting a cover bonus for free. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Turn 2, or Tides of Death reminds much of the Dark Eldar table in terms of mechanics. The Daughters of Cain is the more like the Dark Eldar table, where you just get better and better and better and better and better as the game goes on. This one is more like you get a different bonus depending on what the turn is. So it's more like the Nurgle thing than it is the Cain thing, the Dark Eldar thing. So, second battle round, all units with this battle trait that run can either shoot or charge in the same turn, but not both. So you become extra maneuverable on turn 2. So turn 1, defense. Turn 2, maneuverability. Really quite funky. Really quite a funky ability just to say, yeah, okay, so I've taken your first round of shooting because I'm now an impossible to kill. Now I'm going to just rush at you, and I'm going to have run and shoot or run and charge, not run, shoot and charge. You can't have all three. And so you can do some really fast moving things. So bomb the eels up the board now that they've been protected and charge in hard. Or bomb the sharks down the flanks and lay down some savage crossbow fire. Or have a double 2 turns of running with your Namati, so you're now up in the face and ready to launch a charge. I covered the Daughters of Cain on other streams, but then again, you might not have been around for those. Basically, the Daughters of Cain start off with like They reroll ones to run, then they reroll ones to run and charge, then they reroll ones to run, hit, and charge, then they reroll ones to run, wound, hit, and charge, and then they reroll ones to run, wound, hit, charge, and save, and they're also immune to battle shots. They just get better and better and better and better and better as the game goes on. They are glass cannons, but if they get to the end of the game, then God help you. That's more how the Daughters of Cain operate. So they're slow starters, but once they get going, they'll run you over. It has the ability to one, this gives the other. What do you mean? So what it basically means, the ability is you can run and shoot or run and charge. What I'm curious about, actually, is whether... can still either shoot or charge. Okay, they seem to have the option, yeah. What are Warden Eternals? The Stormcast Eternals, which I think are what you're referring to, there are no Wardens. The Eternal Warden is a Seraphon, which is a lizard dinosaur dude. Lizard dinosaur demon dude. The Stormcast Eternals are humans, champions of humanity, seized up at the moment of their death and reforged by, what's the thing? By Sigmar, reforged in lightning in order to become immortal warriors of the God King, who then can then arrive on lightning and retake the mortal realms for Sigmar. That's what the Stormcast Eternals are. So they go stealth, then pack a decent punch, but with a good dice they're flipped. Oh yeah, the dice can always screw you. That's just the nature of this 40k in AOS. The dice can always screw you. However, it's on the third battle round where things get utterly terrifying. In this battle round, units with the Tides of Death battle trait fight before any other units in the combat phase. Fight with all eligible Idoneth Deepkin units, one after the other, and then resolve any fights with any other units. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I'm getting a little carried away, maybe, but oh my God. Undead Mega Knights. That's not a terrible approximation, I guess, but I don't quite bother down like that. We talked about Cetra on like two different streams, and the general answer is no, probably not, but never rule it out. Good dice roll on the fish soup, don't... Oh yeah, I know that if the dice go against you, you are buggered. I know that. Certainly ones are hero model and Seraphon. Yeah, the former Chakax model, and they're utterly degenerately stupid. And now the chat is just flipping out. Yeah, that will be army-wide fight first in Age of Sigmar. Like, the power of charging units fight first in 40k is so utterly brutal that it basically fixed the combat system for me. This is savage. So on the third battle round, you always fight first. So get all your charges in, because ow, 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 and ow. Now the nastiest combo is if you go second on the second battle round, so you can run and charge on the second round, and then it transitions into the third round and you're automatically fighting first. Spicy craziness. That's brutal. That's genuinely savagely brutal. So they become Highling Banshees or Emperor's Children, yes. Now on the fourth battle round, it's quite interesting. In this battle round, all units with the Tides of Death battle trait that retreat can still either shoot or charge in the same turn. Even better double... Yes. Yes, it makes double turn even more disgusting, I know. Yeah, alright, I agree with you. Having double turn be even more powerful sucks. I just love this amount, like, Ebb Tide, basically, you have the ability to fall back and do whatever you want. So you can come in, whack something else, come out, fire at will, whatever you want to do. And this just fits so beautifully. So you can just think about it. It's like, it's just a quiet start, they're quite hard, it's quite hard to see what's going on, and then it rushes up at you, and it's a crest of a wave, and it slams down on your army. Ow, that hurt my wrist. And then they just wash out again. And then on the 5th battle round, it builds. And on the 6th round, if you're going really long, it goes up. And then bang, on round 7, it does it again. And that's just lovely. Ow, my flipping wrist. That really, really, really hurt. Ow. Ow. Which of all the armies in Ares has the most flat surfaces and most opportunities for freehand? Stormcaster, not bad. Any army with shields? I'm not sure, actually. Preserving charge buffs. Defensive, then all out ruining the opponent's day. But this part of the tactic always gives me a headache. I apologise if I've given you a headache. Oh, you mean the retreat and do something else? Yeah, retreat and act is quite nasty. I do not play Eternal Crusade. No, I don't. Yeah, this, I don't know how powerful this is, and it might actually be something you can play around, but yeah. So Age of Sigmar, are there any siege armies or fortress scenarios in Age of Sigmar? PS, is there a good abbreviation for this game? AOS, that's what we call it, AOS, Age of Sigmar. There is actually a siege game mode in the General's Handbook 2017, so if you want to see sieges, then yes, you can do that. As for siege armies, I'm not sure, like generally that's not how it's done. Certainly of the new armies that have been redone, sieges doesn't seem to be their thing. Fair enough, so yeah. But yes, you got to see the Idoneth, and you also got to see me whack my own wrist to the point that it actually hurt. I meant to like hit my hand, and so you also get that little crackle snap effect, but that didn't work. What's the closest the Ares has to Mordheim? Shadespire, probably. Yes, there is. It's fun and very few armies are good at it. Yes, sieges are not probably something that most armies are designed around. They're just an opportunity for you to do something very different. Buffs and debuffs and all that without my calculation of the rules, but my brain goes a little orky. That's harsh on orkies. To be fair, there's not really any buffs going on. It's just, once you've done it once or twice, you'll just know. On turn 1, I get +1 to my save. On turn 2, I can run and do stuff. On turn 3, I fight first in combat. On turn 4, I can retreat and do stuff. Repeat. It's not so silly. I get why it might be confusing at the first 1 or 2 times, but once you've done it a couple of times, it will be fine. Hello. Work tomorrow. I sort of sympathise. I have an 8 o'clock lecture. Yeah. Besides death, the Knight of Deepkin will start defensive before quickly advancing, get your best units into combat in round 3 and take maximum advantage of high tide. Following this, you'll be able to retreat before re-engaging or picking off enemy units. makes playing with and against both challenging and rewarding. While powerful, your opponent will know exactly when high tide is coming, i.e. round 3, and you'll have to work hard to stop their efforts to counter it. So they could actually bog you down, or start trying to snipe you out, or turn your army around, or back away from your most dangerous units on round 2 so that you'll have a really, really long bomb charge. So it is actually an army you have to think about and play a little bit around to make it work to its 100%, which is something that's worth considering, and is actually good that they actually made it fixed, so it's not random. God, those Eidolons are tall. Wow, those Eidolons are tall. So is there a technical line in the Empire from fantasy to AOS? Is gunpowder still a thing? Yes, of course gunpowder is still a thing. The Caradron Overlords literally fly around in gunboats and stuff. So gunpowder and stuff is still a thing. Most armies admittedly don't use gunpowder, but gunpowder exists. Just a lot of armies don't use it, that's all. We also haven't had the human factions yet, and the dwarven factions who would often do it. Turn 3 is where you need to win the game. That can be problematic if you forced into a turn 1 fight. It's not going to help as much. Oh yeah, like Stormcast doing, or Seraphon or whoever, doing a turn 1 drop and charge could be very, very annoying to play around. But you can screen that with your Namati, which will then allow on turn 2 your eels to, or sharks, or your leviathans, your eidolons to whiz off and do their own thing, cap objectives, and then get your army turned back around again so that you can smack in on turn 3 and do all the damage. So, admittedly, you will probably have to win the game on turn 3 as your main thing, while turn 4 you'll be picking off remnants for the most part. But it is going to be interesting to see how well people actually are able to use it, and also how well people are going to be able to counter it. So it's going to be interesting. When you play Idoneth, you'll want to spend the first couple of turns getting set up, third turn as much damage as possible, and the fourth mopping up. Alternatively, you could be very defensively, constantly slipping out of your clutches with high speed, and then use high tide as a deterrent to say, you don't want to charge me on this turn because I'm just going to go first and ruin your life. And that's actually a very interesting way. You don't have to build up and rush phase and smash it. That's the obvious way. But the idea of like going hyper defensive and hyper maneuver was like, okay, turn 1, you can't touch me. Turn 2, I'm hyper fast, and also you can't touch me very well because of Forgotten Nightmares. Turn 3, are you sure you want to charge me this turn, bro? Oh, you did charge me? Well, that's fine. Turn 4, I'll just retreat and do whatever I want to do, and just be ultra super slippery. So that's actually a really interesting alternative way to play them. We'll be doing the Namati tomorrow, which is going to be lovely. That's a little video. So there you go. That's did the turn 3 thing say anything about enemies having similar rules? I'm not quite sure I follow. As in, like, your opponent gets nothing off Tides of Death on turn 3. No. Like, that benefit applies to units with Tides of Death. I mean, if both armies are Idoneth armies, then they'll both be getting that bonus anyway, so it's kinda neither here nor there. So yes, there you go. That is our first look into the rules of the Idoneth Deepkin, and they are fascinatingly fun. And they actually synergize quite well with the armies I have. It's kind of funny. Like, they synergize really well with Stormcast and with Daughters of Cain. It's kind of fun like that. I mean, do you still have fight first if the enemy has a similar fight first rule? That will need to be FAQ'd, I think. Like, logically, I think it will work like Slanesh does in 40k, where you'll just go back to you go, I go. Is there an AOS RPG? Not strictly, no. Shadespire is a skirmish game where you actually have custom characters and can work with them, but they're not like proper customizable RPGs. Would I try it if I had the time and was good at RPGs? Then maybe, but I've never done like Dark Heresy or basically anything that looks or sounds or smells like an RPG before. Difference to Marcus Nash's ability that if a unit can pile in and attack before it, I mean, the next one is better. There might be some units that overrule, but I think they just need to FAQ the interaction, just to say, this is definitively how it works, because that could cause some queries. Thankfully, they now do FAQs and erratas like a couple of weeks after every book, so that won't be an issue. Definitely going to get them. A friend that they'll have at the club will get them too. To go 2v2 chaos or something. Yeah, that could work. I mean, honestly, I think the Idoneth will synergize very well with the Stormcast Eternals in their OTK build, Alpha Strike build, and they'll also synergize well with the Daughters of Cain. And ideally, they'll synergize better with the two together. Or at least that's my initial opinion. If an enemy unit within 6 inches is selected to pile in an attack, this model can pile in an attack before it. Right. So yeah, that one in that case is faster, but generally, this is just the general rule. What you missed was the first look at the Idoneth Deepkin. So we got their allegiance abilities today, as well as a few snippets of additional lore, and they're quite fun. What do the Tau Earthcast? The Earthcast are engineers, scientists, researchers. They're responsible for the creation of all Tau technology and such. That's their shtick. That's their gimmick. These guys are still in the core Elvish, a fast precision tool, not a smashy-mashy blunt object, not for rookies. They're going to be slightly forgiving to new players in that on turn 1 they're quite protected, but certainly if you want to get the most out of them, they will require a fair bit of practice and tuning. They're certainly going to require practice and tuning. And yeah, I thought that wasn't autocorrect. Like of all the things I've heard the Tau called, and fish jokes do come up with the Tau, I somehow didn't think you were deliberately calling them tuna. Yeah, the Idoneth, the Daughters of Cain are both still precision tools that will hit really hard, but aside from probably that first turn for the Idoneth where they're protected, are going to fall apart. Normally, the timing of Sinesh's Demon Prince ability makes it faster before the combat starts than the enemy is selected. Triggering makes DP go first. Yeah, that's true. Like that. In that case, yes, the Idoneth are going to be outsped by that one Sineshi Demon Prince. Yes. And the Ethereals are all the casts equal to one another. We don't know quite how Tau Society works in terms of status and the like, so I honestly can't answer that question. Like, every cast is vital to the running of Tau Society, as either its defense, its academics, its diplomats, and then also engineers, pilots, all sorts. I think every cast is relatively equal. And then the Ethereals are sort of first among equals. That's the only model that fast. Yeah, I'm never going to outspeed practically everything in the game. On that turn, they will outspeed almost everything in the game. The fast attack ability of this army can be used to flank the opponent or something. Distracting the opponent with exploiting weak spots combined with another army too, it's going to be fun. Yeah, I think the best way to use them is going to either to be a lot of flanking. So like flank heavy, hide your cavalry for the first turn, then flank hard, smash in, use high tide, and such. Alternately, they suggest a defensive build, where you hang back, you let your opponent come to you, and use high tide, the high speed ability, as a deterrent. Both of those are viable. I think probably the most powerful of the two builds is going to be the offensive build, because it just allows you to dictate the pace of the game, but I could see it either way. It is spelled T''AU these days. It used to be TAU, but they've now added an apostrophe. Battle traits are great, happy with them, now we just need the models. Yep, we have another 2 weeks to wait. They're going to be out on the 21st of April. Pre-orders on the 14th. $36, $37... Have I played Firewall? No, I've not actually. The only 40k video games I've actually played are Dark Crusade and Space Marine. That's actually it. And I know I did get the good ones, but they're the other ones I've actually played. In the grand scheme, every cast needs the other cast. Yes, exactly. Right? Without one of the casts, Tau Society would not work. Whether the Firecast are more vaunted, I don't know. But, yeah. My student loan by then. Yeah, I do completely sympathise. I really do sympathise. I'm glad I'm out in France because it gives me time to stop, think, evaluate which army I want to go with and get them. Because between Daughters and Idoneth, I've got two options, and I don't know which I kind of want more. Like I'm tempted by Idoneth right now, but I'm also on the Idoneth hype train, so I don't know if that's me being unfair because I'm on the hype train. That's working. Okay, there we go. What is your opinion of the Shrine of Cain? You mean the Cauldron of Blood? I haven't played with the new Cauldron. It looks very similar to the old Cauldron, which I would consider to be an auto take purely because of the defense it gave you. Nowadays, I'll be interested to see how much it's needed because of the power of Fanatical Faith. But then again, with the ability to give out Witch Brew or the Orgy of Destruction command trait, I still think it is powerful and it's your best bet for a general outside of Marathi. So if you're not taking Marathi, you should absolutely be taking one. I'll say that. If you're not taking Marathi, you should be taking one. Just need to see what the Warscrolls are like. Yeah, we do. We're getting the Namati tomorrow. I think we'll get the Akelians the day after that. And then we'll get the monsters and then the actual heroes in that order. Or they might do the Namati, then the heroes that go with the Namati, then the Akelians and the monsters. I'm not sure. And by the heroes, I mean the Isharan that go with the Namati or the Isharan. And sorry, I've memorized the terminology already. But if Marathi is in, I don't know. Just because Marathi's so expensive, but she'll also have your magic covered. Like, so you don't need a Blood Rat Medusa so much if you're already covered by Marathi for magic. So getting the prayers into your army through that might not be a terrible idea in large games. In small games, if you have Marathi in less than, if you've got 2,000 points, which is probably what you need to take Marathi, you either want Marathi and a Cauldron, or you'll want Marathi, 1 or 2 priests, and then a Blood Rack to give you extra magic. I don't know quite which is the most powerful, whether the Cauldron is worth taking under Marathi in anything short of massive games where you can afford it. Will the Dispossessed get their own army book? Maybe not under that name, but I can see there being a basic dwarf army book at some point, yes. Are humans taken down with separated into castes, or are they just there? They're just there. They're separate entirely. The Gevesa are entirely separate. They're not part of the castes. They don't bear the Shas, Por, Kor, or Fio names. They're separate. Marathi is cheaper than she should be. I haven't used her, so I'm in no position to comment. I mean, she can do some brutal things, I've heard, and I've been told by the chat before, but she's also very killable if you play around her correctly, I think. So, maybe she is, but I'd have to play test her. 3 people still say, yeah, the humans need something. Like, the elves are having their day in the sun, but the humans and the dwarves, like the humans in particular, need a day in the sun now. After destruction. Have you read the Gotrek novel? I haven't actually read any of the Gotrek and Phoenix novels, so no is the answer to that question, I'm afraid. The woman on the stag. Oh, Alariel. Alariel, but... I haven't seen Alariel's power. I haven't seen quite like how well Alariel and Marathi stack up to one another. But Alariel is more consistent in that she always provides you the magic and she provides a lot of synergy and buffs to Sylvanet. Actually, let me get her Warscroll up. I'll have a look at her. because the AOS app is amazing for that. All Sylvaneth, Alariel, the Ever Queen. "16 wounds, so yep, she's got 4 more wounds and she can be killed faster. 3 up save, bravery 10. A missile weapon with a variable range that does d6 damage, 1 attack. 4 basic attacks, damage 1, and then that beetle has 5 attacks that damage 5 at the start of the game. She also does d3 mortal wounds whenever she charges near terrain. She can also do a huge amount of boosts. So, admittedly, this won't work so much in matched play, but she has a 50-50 chance of healing every Sylvaneth model for D3, pretty much on the board. And if you're not playing match play, she can just set up units. Her Talon... Roll 2 dice for each model that suffered wounds to the Talon in the combat phase. That's brutal. She kills D3 wounds a turn. Brutal. +1 to hit against large units with the 5 damage attacks. Brutal. Magic, she knows. Arcane Voltage is a Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis being not bad. And then Gyron's Wrath. Reroll all failed wounds for Sylvaneth units until your next turn. She's savage. She is absolutely savage. Alariel is an utter beast. And that's just a cursory glance. She is an utter beast. She's fine, but every model that costs more than 5 can easily make their points back. Yes, they can. Like most big models, yeah, it's pretty brutal. Setup is not interruptible. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, in match play you can't do it because you have to set point. You can do it. Like just have enough points in reserve for a Tree Lord or a Tree Revenants or a block of Dryads off the board. But yeah, Alariel is an absolute savage. Like her costing 700, I completely understand. Whether Marathi's too cheap is up to you to decide, but given that if you ping her for 3 on turn 1, yeah. Yeah, she's that cost for a reason like Nagash and Arkham. Yeah, because she's a savage. Come on, stick. I don't know what her cost. Let me check her cost in the General's Handbook for you. Let me check the General's Handbook to see what she actually costs, and also pause my. Oh, fine, I won't pause my music. General's Handbook. Don't think I didn't see that. Message retracted. What does the 7th get for allegiance abilities, by the by? Oh, do they already have one? Yeah, they might already have one. Sylvaneth. Alariel, the Ever Queen. She's 600 points. She was patched in the General's Handbook 2017 to cost 600 points. That is the cost of Alariel, the Ever Queen. Said quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? Yes, and they also get lots of trees. They did go up, it was 540. So you got a very small increase, but I understand why she costs so much. I really looking at those abilities, I completely understand why she costs what she costs. How is Sigmar seen by the different races in AOS? Well, I know Malerian and Marathi kind of see him as a bit of a joke and an idiot. Very short-sighted and stuff. I don't know about every race, because we haven't really looked into them as civilians. It's not really come up, I'll say that. I think we need the novels for that, and I haven't personally read enough of the novels. Like, I know that a lot of humans see him as the God King, but beyond that... Oh, damn it, I've nicked the tail. Yeah, but Star Trek makes us sad. I see. I can certainly see the Star Drake doing some... Like, she is vulnerable to just being absolutely whacked with massive damage that she just can't heal. Like, she has the potential to heal 2d3 wounds a turn, but if you hit her hard enough, she will just fall over, which is something Marathi has in her favour, that she takes a lot longer to kill. But to be fair, she can one-shot Star Drake. Can she? I need to go back and double-check how the Talon of Dwindling worked. Nagash is 800. Well, he's Nagash. He can cast so many spells and do some utterly brutal things. As every audiobook I've seen is set. Yeah, there's been a lot that are Stormcast focused, which is kind of disappointing. But I get it, but I'd rather it wasn't that way. I'm surprised that the Mortarts do some really powerful damage. Nagash is fair at that price, setting up 2 dragons at once with 1 spell, 3 if it's a 9+, that's oppressively strong in narrative. Yeah, in anything other than match play, Nagash and Alariel, who can just do massive amounts of summoning, can just utterly break the game. Like, that was part of Age of Sigmar's problem, was summoning. Sort of like Roman legions. The Stormcast can, so like highly disciplined infantry lines, supported by missile fire, and the odd beast of war. Yes, the Stormcast can fight like that, but it's not so obvious, I don't think. On the 40k front, I feel like I should know the answer to this. I feel like the answer is no, not particularly, or if they can, it's kind of abstract. Generic dwarves, I suppose, the dispossessed is not a bad one for it. Yeah, and the extra artillery. They don't have the same beasts of like any like hounds or beasts of war like the Roman legions did sometimes have, but yeah. It's not directly about the Stormcast. That's not much better. Honestly, if you want like stories that are not around the Stormcast, the best thing to do is read the Malign Portent stories. That's honestly a really good idea. Go and read the Malign Portent stories. Right, headplate. Why does he have to have a shock hand axe on his back? Because they swap the hand axe for the javelin, don't they? Yeah, they swap the hand axe for the javelin. I've already got one where they're reloading. Directly. I love how there's just that caveat of like, they're not about him directly. Bit of a dodgy caveat. Oh my gosh, that's where they like, store their javelin. Alright. Headplate. What is the worst fate you know about in AOS? Well, to be fair, what's happened to the elven souls being consumed and put through hell by Slaanesh? That's up there. I mean, having your soul stolen by the Idoneth and falling into a coma from which you'll never wake up, that could be worse, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not super up on all of it, but yeah, that's not particularly pleasant. Closest thing to the Dark Eldar homunculus, the Idoneth mechanic, like the Daughters of Cain, the elves mechanically that we have, the Daughters of Cain in particular, act like the Drakari. Lore-wise, the Idoneth kind of do, but for different reasons. Like, they don't take any pleasure in what they do. They try to shove seal themselves away from emotion to avoid Slaanesh. As for the homunculi, there's nothing we know of, and long may that continue. Because I hate the homunculi a lot. I hate them. I don't hate many factions, but I absolutely hate the homunculi. What's next on the build? Let's put that on. Alright, let's get that on the base. So Roman question, I say most armies focused on blocks of heavy armoured infantry would do fine, so others such as auxiliaries and beasts, depends on what era of Rome you want. That's true. That later Rome probably had more different things. Playing comp Overwatch. Oh, fair enough. Have you been giving Brigitte much of a run out since she's out? And obviously there's that new event out on like Tuesday with the new skins. Urian Ricarth is pretty high on my S list. Yeah, I don't like Urian. Like Urian's kind of like intriguing, but the homunculi as a whole are just creepy. He has a massive advantage on that he has communicated with all his forces across the realms. At the same time, that changed war in our own history. Oh, Archaeon. I think Archaeon is like Abaddon. Think of Archaeon like Abaddon for AOS. She's not in comp yet. Oh, good to know. Are all the nations in AOS in medieval times or things like 15? Depends on your definition, I guess. They didn't have a good time. You must give. Oh god! Now I've got two. Now I've got the wolf. Oh no. I've got the meme master and the wolf. Thankfully, at least one of them is distracted by Overwatch, so it could be worse. Although by the fact that you're saying thankfully to Brigitte not being in comp, I think somebody is salty about Brigitte. You have an army stylized around them, but the combat would not quit. Exactly, that's what the Ultramarines are. They are stylized around Rome, but their fighting style, Rome is not going to work in the far future. At least not this far future. When you build an army, does it have to be like all loyalist or chaos or whatever? I haven't read any of the codes. Can you mix and match units? Generally, you build your army around keywords. So in 40k, a lot of armies, and actually in AOS, a lot of armies have shared keywords. So your army will have, let's say, all will have the Eldari keyword, or will all have the Ultramarines keyword. Whatever. That's how you'll generally build your armies, or at least your detachments. Also printing Primera, so I'm distracted. Good. Good. It's good to see you, but good. Shouldn't. Because it's a sin to tell her that. No one else has instant communication in the realm, so you can be where you can dominate and avoid the already lost battles. Yeah, Archaeon is kind of like extremely powerful. He is extremely powerful. Does Dante retake the all points? Yes, but what that does is it gives them access to all the realms. It's not comms, it's access. They still have to travel from place to place to communicate, whether that's through a realm gate or whatever. But they don't have like that instant mind power communication. They still have to talk to each other, and that takes time. Oh, 30k, 40k Gilliman different personality-wise. 30k Gilliman was unflinching, unable to deviate pretty much, and was generally kind of one-dimensional. 40k Gilliman has a lot more depth. He has a lot more like aspects. Like he's realised what the Imperium's like now, and he's trying to roll with it and fix it as best he can. He's acknowledging maybe his own failures and the Imperium's failures and stuff, yeah. I'm not going to be home until late June, early July, I'm afraid, Ben. And I'm probably going to be going very hard on AOS. Though, admittedly, yes, I will have my Tau that you will get to massacre because, well, of course you will. Not bad, thank you. Not bad. Can I still field the 8? As in, do they have rules for the 8? No, because formations are dead. You can field models to represent the 8, although, to be honest, the fact that you would need 5 or 6 commanders to do it now means that you generally can't, because it's 1 per detachment in matched play. You can do it, but it is very, very awkward. Which is a shame, because I miss the 8. I never really got to play much with the 8. Actually, I don't know if I ever got to use the 8 as a formation, but I wish I had. In July we might have a freaking codex. Oh, salty Space Wolf alert. Salty Space Wolf alert. Who controls these the runs at the moment? Still Chaos. Like, Order has a foothold in every realm, I think. Although Shadow is pretty much Malerian's domain. Light is Tyrion and Teclis's domain. Death is Nagash's domain. Heavens is Sigmar's domain. The rest generally is Chaos. What combat doctrines in AOS and armies utilize which? What you mean by combat doctrines, I think, are the allegiance abilities. And I haven't particularly covered them. I just cover them as they come out. So, like, I covered the Daughters of Cain one as they came out. And I covered the Idoneth one earlier in this stream. But I haven't done, like, a video on it because I don't have all the battle terms and all the rules. And I'm not good enough at the game to really get into the details. I'd want to do that with other people in the AOS community who know better about meta and stuff. Damn right, I'm salted one of the last armies to get a codex. Best get Russ or someone at Games Workshop is going to slap. You know, I know you're like one of the last, but, well, you're not the only ones. Calm down. Bear in mind, if you're an AOS player, most of your armies haven't been done yet, and it's been 2.5 years. You haven't even been waiting 10 months yet. Calm down. Kind of getting control for Order, but Chaos is the king right now. Yeah, like, I think Khorne particularly has metal. No, fire. Tzeentch has a fair hold on metal. Nurgle is sort of half bothered with life, and there's beasts as well, and stuff like that. If the English try to bring down the first founding chapter, what would be the repercussions? A lot of dead Inquisition, and probably a mini heresy. Do 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 do. $57.58. Ba-da-ba-da. What would it require if you cover a nation's cultural and doctrine like your Legion series? That would require doing that's AOS law, and I've said it many times. I'm not doing AOS law. I don't have the time to do 2 sets of series. I just don't. Wish the Tomb Kings would AOS might be in the future, but I don't know. I find it unlikely that we'll see the Tomb Kings, though it would be kind of cool. Yes, the Months of Shame were not pretty. Basically, think of the Cold War, but in space. No Tomb Kings and Bretts. Yeah, it's extremely unlikely that we'll get Tomb Kings. I don't want to say never say. I don't want to say absolutely not. Like, never say never is a thing, but it is extremely unlikely. Bum, bum. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Bro, you done it up. I am building at the moment a Vanguard Palador, aka the absolute worst unit to build ever. If Centra comes back, that would be hilarious, but I just don't see it. I'm sorry, I just don't. It's so very far from wrong. I think my mods is unaware of the fact that there is a time delay between sending messages and messages appearing and getting read. So if one like that real the bets with another that he can't bring Cetra back, he might do it just to prove him wrong. And he was allowed to do so by the actual devs. Bear in mind it's got to be approved. Finally reprinting my very early 90s Arbitrace mini. Nice! What do you think Gilman thinks about the Ultimate Successor chapters, specifically the Mortificators leaving the Lamentus high and dry? I think he's just kind of said, if the ends justified the means, I don't know. Gilliman's probably got enough on his plate without having to worry about lots of little details like that. He's got enough going on. That's good. Took me forever to figure out what he was. His starter's mini from that time is so tiny compared to the 3 premise. Oh yeah, the scaling up of the models is definitely a thing. From the old metals to the plastics. For sure. For sure. Actually, I might just put the shoulder pad on now. I'm not having to think about it later. Hello. Now I've got to figure out how to strip the plastic arms of paint. Ouch. Well, good luck with that. You have my sympathies. Nagash makes me sad. The special duel scenario, Archeon lost without dealing even 10. Although to be fair, Archeon also has a one-shot in the Slayer of Kings. The old Pegasus models. Oh god, I bet they were hell to build. What are your thoughts on the Idoneth? The Deepkin. Looks great. Looks really, really interesting and tactical. Good, I don't know. It's going to be very powerful in the right hands, but also very counterable. So I think it's actually in a really good spot. I think it's a really good spot for them. They can be outplayed and outthought for sure, but they're not going to be sucky. Ah, yes, also Hand of Dust. I forgot that was a thing. Friend of mine is building a Space Marine army out of Road Trader Marines and Primaris Marines. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, that's definitely quite the contrast. Fuck it. That's what killed him. Ouch. Spider-Man, one fatal slip. And they're not as sticky out as I thought they would be. I was they'd be super sticky out. Can't believe they're on pre-order next week. I can, because I saw it in White Dwarf on Thursday, so I knew. But yeah, it's so good that we're going to get them so soon. Like, this is what AOS needs. It needs a quick release schedule. Get this out to the public, because we need more people playing this game. Damn it! And yes, I did make another bloody wrestling reference because it's WrestleMania tonight. We're gonna keep you listening all day. Excitement. The best way to allow them is the Changeling with Destiny dice. I don't call them Destiny dice, I call them BS dice. And the old metal models basically had two options. One, pin, or two, constantly keep super glue on hand. Yeah, my metal models, like my Zagstruck and Snickrot and Co, never really stayed together. Shock Attack Gun was the worst. I was thinking they would be May, next week would be Necromunda. No, I think because they previewed them at Adepticon, and that, because we're getting Drukhari, I thought the Idoneth were going to be after Necrons and before Drukhari, because we were getting hints of them before Adepticon. Then they were revealed at Adepticon. I was like, they've shown so much here, they can't keep them in the shadows for too long, they have to get them out to us. So that I was never expecting them to be too long. Which gets around to think we come back next. Fulgrim. Fulgrim is my answer to that. Fulgrim, possibly Angron. As a scene sprayer, F that what? Cause I insist. Somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna get kissed. Wow, I'm feeling the salt. Feeling all of the salt. And I need to keep the head off this model. Lesson learned. Do-do-do-do-do. Fight, 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 fight it with all of our might. Chances are some heavenly star spangled night. We'll find out as sure as we love. I'm gonna stop singing now. I heard salt. Yeah, there was salt. One of the things I hate to live in the center south of nowhere is roast trading was non-existent. Yeah. Depending on the bits we're gluing together, it varies. I do what's called sub-assemblies. So I'll build bits of it, paint it, and then finish the assembly. So like I've started building this model, but I won't finish the assembly until I've painted it. No time to save up. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. The news. How so? You can't just drop that statement and then not justify it. Actually, I might put the -2 to hit on as -3 and -1 to wound as far as the eye can see. Yeah, that sounds like Nurgle to me. That sounds like Nurgle to me. If I put this on and just this, how much does that block? Nothing much, really. Alright, I might do that because then it's on and it's locked in place. And then I can paint the legs, put the legs on. In a competitive sense, Zinch, Nurgle, Khorne, then Slaanesh. Well, Slaanesh hasn't had a book, so it's not really fair to compare. Zombie Smam, so by the end of turn 1 you're over 500 points more than starting points in 40k. That's in 40k though, that's not AOS, which I think was the debate that we were having. Hello. Or salut, I think. You can kill one of the French crew. So I managed to kill Altarian in 2 turns in my last game. Theoretically I could have done it in 1 because Tyberos. Ouch. Ouch. Yes, AOS, Skyfire's a... Right. just agreement. 40 points for 10 bot. Bloody hell. Brimstone Horrors. Yes, you do seem to be on the same wavelength. Those who fought Nurgle demons in 40k, do people field Epidemius, and if so, is it any good? I've not actually faced Nurgle demons, though I think I will be doing soon. As in, when I go home, I will be facing Nurgle demons. I don't doubt it. So I'll find out in about 3 months, I guess. If I ran out Black Men is better commander than Marnie's Cowgirls, I've read over the months of shame and conclude that when Russ returns there will be a purge of the Inquisition and the Grey Knights. No, there won't. Like, unless Russ fancied starting the Lehman Heresy. Okay, chat, question. What colour should I paint my Griff Chargers? Should I paint these guys in sort of like reddy? Actually, I haven't got enough reds. I've only got like 1 or 2 reds, so I don't think I've really got enough reds to do it. And I kind of want Narcisio to have a unique Griff Charger, so I think these guys will probably go in blue again. In the blues and greens. Nurgle Tree Cultists, Zombie Rockbringers, and more zombies and cultists than some Nurgle tanks. No, right. I don't even have those sorts of paints on me. Les démons de Nurgle sont les plus forts des 4 suivis par Zinch, puis par Zikron et en dernière Slanish. Pourquoi dis-tu que Nurgle c'est plus puissant que Zinch? Et si tu parles de iOS, je suppose. Si tu parles d'iOS, pourquoi dis-tu que Nurgle c'est plus puissant que Zinch? Car tout le monde semble être d'accord que Zinch est un peu plus puissant que Nurgle et je voudrais savoir pourquoi vous pensez différent. And this is why I never ask the chat for paint suggestions. No, I haven't. And yes, Logan has to be considered. White with red. Ooh, I could do a grey white. Well, yeah, true. Like, I've got 3 or 4 blues and greens and dry brushes to go with it. I've got a purple, I've got a grey and a highlight, I've got a red and a lighter red. That's about it, actually. Non, 40k bien sûr, sur iOS, Zinch est bien plus fort. Ah, d'accord, je suis d'accord. Oui. Nurgle peut-être en 40K, c'est plus puissant, mais en iOS, oui, c'est Zinch. We're not really discussing much. Like, a lot of people we're discussing the AOS and stuff like that, and I'm thinking about what I want to paint my Griff Charges this time round. Mania pre-show starts in an hour. Good to know. As I was building a Vanguard Palador for the Stormcast Eternal, as you may not have heard me the first time. Though I am going to get another drink. I also have a think about what I want to do and actually check what my other how each of my other paladors is painted. Because I don't want them to be identical to one another. It's you, yes, you. You're the one I did in blue with red and then greeny feathers. Okay, that's an easy one to work around. We'll have a thunder and blood. Oh, that's the one of the starter boxes, isn't it? Working on the core graph. Okay, that makes sense. I don't drink alcohol. So if we're getting the main from HQs of Rotigus and Typhus, good to know. Fair enough. If you can't get into AOS and like, fantasy was more your thing, then that's fair enough. But I would encourage you, if you haven't already, give it a try, because like it is actually a really good game to play. But I understand if it's not your thing, if you've tried it and if you're not as keen on it, I can understand if you don't want to go all in on it. I can understand that, and I get it. So yeah, if I do this one with the skink green, or yeah, with the skink green, and then red feathers, purple armor. It's slightly late. It's 10 o'clock. I'm absolutely fine. It's just a little bit late in the day, that's all. Actually, I want to check all my paladins. Mais tu penses quoi des Idoneth, car moi je les trouve classe. J'ai fait des choses sur les Idoneth un peu plus tôt, et pour moi les attitudes de commandement sont assez... non, les attitudes de commandement c'est pas ça. Les attitudes d'allégeance, mes excuses. Les attitudes d'allégeance sont assez puissants. L'habilité cauchemar oublié, c'est peut-être puissant contre certaines armées, mais pas totalement contre tous, car beaucoup des armées utilisent les armes de mêlée en primaire. Mais les attitudes des marais, c'est intéressant, car on peut créer votre armée pour attaquer sur un certain tour, mais votre adversaire va savoir aussi, alors le troisième tour, ceci va se passer, je dois jouer contre ça. Et donc c'est un bon équilibre, je pense que c'est bien. Puissant, je ne sais pas, c'est un bon mélange des idées. On aura besoin de voir un peu plus tard avec les Namalti, les Akaliens, les Charins, pour voir en totalité la puissance des Idoneth. Mais oui, j'aime les idées des Idoneth, c'est ça. How are my other two painted? I can't remember. Soren Stash has been a room for a while, that's true. Right, so I'll look at you two while I'm here. Just so I've got a full appreciation of my paladors, have I painted? Where's my other... Oh, it's there. Oh, I've already done that particular one. And then... Okay, so I've got blue, green with red. Green, red and purple, and then blue, red and green. Best way to make Cataphractic Terminators. I've not actually painted them, though obviously in Thousand Suns colours. The old school version. Okay, so looking at that, I should probably do a Stegodon scale base. Yeah, Stegodon scale base. And then red armor and maybe grey armor, because it's easy to highlight, and the feathers could easily be highlighted too. I only got one set, so I've got one set of armor, one set of feathers, and then a second set of feathers. So actually, yeah, we would do red plating and white feathers. Yeah, okay. So Stegodon, white scale, red feather. No, red scale, white feather. just want to put one dash. Pick up the French. Oh, well, I've been studying French since I was like 12, and also I've been here for what 6-7 months now. So I've picked up the language well enough to cope. Yes. I've also been doing a bilingual hobby series pretty much since I got here. So if you've watched any of the Une ville appelée Malus, the French version of Town Commanders, you know I can speak French. Not maybe as well as a French person, but I can speak it. Okay, just to remind myself. So it's going to be grey feathers. Then red armor. White base, Skeleton blue glaze, Fenrising grey highlights. I haven't got those particular paints, I'm afraid. Come on, load. Have you lost your accent yet in exchange for a French one? Do I sound like I have a French accent? Yes or no? The answer you're looking for is no. Like, accents do evolve over time, that is very, very true. And ooh. Alright, yeah, they look cool. They do look cool. Give you that. They look cool. But yes, accents do evolve over time, depends on where you are, but no. I do not have a French accent. Orcs and 40k can't outdash. Not against that. Je pense me créer une nouvelle armée d'étoiles avec l'arrivée du nouveau codex, mais j'ai peur qu'il soit nul. Peut-être si tu attends jusqu'à on veut voir le codex, peut-être ça va indiquer quelle altitude on est Deathwatch, etc., etc. Je suis sûr si on veut avoir une bonne armée, on attendre. So they actually frog probably some people do. I don't. I've not seen it. I've seen it on menus, but very rare. Only like in some places, and I've not actually seen it ordered. I'll say that. I've not seen it ordered, though it is on menus. Is that a stereotype? It is a bit of a stereotype. Between like snails and frog's legs are the stereotypical cuisine of France, along with baguettes and stuff. On mange pas de grenouilles. J'ai vu les grenouilles sur les menus et certains m'ont dit qu'ils l'ont essayé. Je sais pas si c'est très populaire de manger des grenouilles, mais je sais que je l'ai vu de temps en temps. C'est pas très commun, mais c'est là. Je sais que c'est stéréotypique, mais c'est comme les Anglais avec le bœuf, les pommes frites. Les stéréotypes doivent venir de quelque chose. Et de quelque part. I'm not gonna respond to that because I am an arrogant little asshole for most of my life, so I'm not gonna really comment because I'm extremely arrogant sometimes. C'est très rare. Ah, d'accord. Comme je dis, je ne sais pas si c'est très commun, mais si tu dis que c'est très rare, je suis incliné de te croire. Omelette du fromage, oh, for God's sake. I know most people can't speak French on the channel. It's just like I wanted to do that bilingual series for a town called Malice just because, well, it was a good way to keep my linguistics going and appeal to any audience I picked up while I was out here, or whatever. So it's kind of like that. But I didn't want to do it as like a linguistical challenge, so I did. And I enjoyed doing it. It was good. I've enjoyed doing it. What destruction faction would you add or create given the chance? Right now, I want to see a goblin faction. Just because they have got nothing at the moment, I'd like to see a grot goblin faction. Either that or foot ogres. As for creating something brand new, I'm not creative enough to do that, so I would hesitate to say. Je pense que manger des grenouilles c'est plus asiatique. Peut-être, je sais pas. Watch painting, Griff Charger for a Vanguard Palador. The last models of Project Stormcast that I have yet to paint. Aside from Ether Wings, but they don't count. I just need to get these done for the last part of a town called Malice in a few weeks. And the longer, I just want to get them started because the longer I leave them, the less likely I am to finish them in time. So I'm doing them early so that they're finished in time. And it's something I can do on stream. This painting on stream is quite nice because it means I'm not, yeah. Nice bit of charm to the charm. Like doing the odd video in French from time to time, sure, but I don't think I'll be doing another bilingual project again. Just because, I don't know, it has been quite taxing at times to do it, and I'm not in France and I'm doing it for, there'll be even less of a French audience once I leave. Biggest battle you've done? I'm not actually sure. It's not actually that big. We've tried doing mega battles before, but we never really have time. But hopefully I'm going to do a mega game on my Stormcast, which is going to be 4K. And then eventually I think I can get a 10K AOS game, but I don't know actually what my largest game is, but it's not huge. Mais en vrai, je suis pas français. J'ai un rare qui habite en France. Ah oui, je sais que c'est quelque chose qui se passe la France et les autres pays européens sont assez divers en ce qui concerne les populations. Mais honnêtement, c'est pas grave, c'est quelque chose qui existe. C'est simplement quelque chose. J'ai eu une discussion avec un Français et une Libanaise concernant certaines choses et l'immigration, etc. C'était quelque chose que nous avons discuté. These bellies of these things are a nightmare to get. Blades of Corn doesn't seem to have much high damage. Is this normal? Should I ally in something with more damage? Well, if you think you're lacking in high damage output, then put in something with more damage output. Corn seems to generally revolve around more attacks, or at least Bloodbound does. Bloodbound has always been much more attack-centric, I've noticed. But if you think you need high damage output, then by all means ally it in. Even if it is normal for Blades of Corn to be lacking in damage, if you think you need more damage, then get them. The chat voted veterans. Nice. Demons of Corn do lots of damage. That's true. They've certainly got the tools to do high damage if you use them correctly. Maybe it's just Bloodbound that seem to lack the actual like damage more than one. They just have spades of attacks because they do. Normal. AOS has few high damage units, but buckets of dice. Certainly there are armies that can certainly throw buckets upon buckets of dice. That you will absolutely not hear me arguing with. Some armies can just chuck absolutely loads of dice at a problem to make it go away. Yeah, that's true as well. Maybe instead of looking at high damage output, you should be looking at mortal wound output. Because high damage can still be saved, mortal wounds pretty much can't. $1,500 points in the area, Soul Grinder, more HQs, or maybe just add Zachary and Zerakanol. I don't know who that is. Damage units, Bloodthirst, Skullgrath, and Skullgrath, I would pick it up 1500 points. I mean, when I had 1500 points, my original 1500 points of Stormcast, the only like high damage units I had were my Lord of Keylor. Like, almost everything else I bought, and then I think it was Lord of Keylor, and then my Draco's Cavalry, because I built my Paladins as Decimators. Were the only like high damage units I had. Like, high damage is not absolutely necessary. Soul Grinder. Yeah, the Soul Grinder model is great. I like the Soul Grinder model is great. Four Drugkeeper of Secrets, right, okay, that makes sense. Explains why I haven't heard of them. Right, no, I haven't got that bit. Il y a des rumeurs sur une nouvelle version des AOS. Tu penses qu'il y aura beaucoup de changements? Normalement, il y a des manuels de général chaque année qui pourraient changer certaines choses. Je doute que les règles de base vont être très modifiées. Peut-être il va y avoir une nouvelle, ce qu'on appelle en anglais expansion, un nouveau livre qui ajoute beaucoup de règles possibles, par exemple pour la magique. Ou quelque chose comme ça. Je ne sais pas si des règles bases vont être modifiées. We have the Blood Secretor. What would you like to see the Imperium go from here? Where? Honestly, just consolidate what you've got and then move forward from there. So if you just make sure you don't lose anything more. Keep Imperium Secundus and Imperium Noctis. Sorry, I always get those two mixed up for some stupid reason. Keep Imperium Noctis secure, supply whatever resources it needs, and then just try and push out from there. Get your logistics in order, though Gilliman's already on that, and then see where you're at. Just assess it as you go. Don't make too many plans, because otherwise I'll just get screwed up. Skull Taker Battalion. Have I run across that one? I feel like I haven't faced that one personally. Or maybe I have. Outright attachment 3 years to 15 Seekers, Herald on Seed and Health. Ouch! That's not fair. That's just mean. The last book I read, especially in terms of new stuff, was Devastation of Baal. It's been a while since I picked up a new book to read, primarily because I've been picking up either battle tomes. Picked up a White Dwarf, I've got the Daughters of Cain battle tome, I'll get the Idoneth battle tome. But I haven't been picking either from Black Library now. Right, have I got it all? There's no, I'm going to have to go back over. Inside of that foot. I knew I was going to miss a bit. I always miss a bit. and Murder Host Battalion, right. Have I come across that one? I don't know the names of the Bloodbound battalions well enough to say if they're ones I've faced before. If you're looking to get a Bloodsecrator, I don't know how available they are outside the starter box. I think they're available separately, but you might have to get Korg's Call at the same time. Just keep that in mind if you're going to be getting a Bloodsecrator. Because you should absolutely get a Bloodsecrator. Bloodsecrators are good. Right, have I got it all this time? Yes, I think so. I think I've got it all. Alright, good. Good. Need your opinion. Oh god, what? I thought it was good for an outfalls, not serious, but I've always had to face one, so I have always just seen both. Glare, bloody. That's a lot of lens flare. If you're doing modern era Space Wolves, I think the left leg, so the brighter one looks better, though the other one fits more with the Legion, the Legionary paint scheme. So honestly, it's up to you, but the more modern look would be the brighter leg. The mask has a movement speed debuff. Great. Banner's probably the best looking AOS currently in this, in my opinion. I find it hard to argue with that. I mean, the Relictor one is cool and the Vexillor one is cool, but it's not the Bloodsecrator. It's not the Bloodsecrator. Even I'll acknowledge that. I might just base cut the Griff Charger and then log out for the night. Get some sleep because I've got an early start tomorrow. No problem. Like I say, if you were doing a 30k paint scheme, which you're not because they're Primaris, then the other leg was certainly much more of like the grey that you get with this old Space Wolves, but with the new Space Wolves it's a bit more bluish. Primorks, I haven't really looked into it. They're just there and they're alright and I don't really care. Interesting concept, I guess, but not really my thing that I've looked into very hard. That is very loud. What's the difference between a Knight and a Lord in Stormcast? It's basically it seems like it's a ranking thing. So like you have Lord Celestants, Lord Relictors, Lord Castellants, Lord Veritans, and they're like your highest ranked members of the Storm Host, as far as I can tell. You then have the Knight Venator, who is like your ranged support. The Knight Vexillor, who's your standard bearer. Your Knight Questor, who is just a hero charged by Sigmar with a task. The Knight Azeros, who is your messenger. So like I think it's a rank thing. I wasn't being rude, I was just giving my opinion, and that is my opinion. If you believe it was rude, then I apologise, but I wasn't being... Terror being attacked. Depends on when. The one in the War of the Beast, it happened, it was interesting. The one in M42 was a little bit of a lol joke because it was absolutely crushed by the Custodes in Guilliman. It didn't even get close. Vulcan is probably alive, yes. Cue chat memes. Hello. What was your other battalion? Okay. That's Knight as a commander in Champions. Yeah, I haven't looked into like quite how. I haven't looked into it very hard, but it generally seems to be like the generals are your lords, and your champions and your heroes are the knights. What traders do when their Primarchs are around? Well, Guilliman is kind of minding Ultramar, as far as I'm aware. He's kind of like minding Ultramar, so I suppose just they hand over command of the chapter and maybe act as like a second, or command the chapter everywhere the Primarch isn't, or stay behind and deal with logistics. I don't know, it probably varies on Primarchs. There we go. There we go. Called it. Of course I heard. And the entire world heard about that. Pretty much. And as a physicist, it would have been a disservice to me not to have. I even mentioned it on the stream that I did the day it happened. I know. I knew. Can you tell that's my only loyal chapter? No, it's fair to be curious. I mean, most people don't know don't know everything there is to know about AOS. Like, I don't. Like, I was sort of half guessing. When are you going to buy the Doom Turtle? Not for a while, because I'm not buying any new projects until I get home from France, and I'm not leaving France until June, end of June. So it won't be until July that I can pick up a Leviathan. So it's going to be a while until you see a Doom Turtle, I'm afraid. Sorry to disappoint. I have not, no, in all honesty. I've not actually left Grenoble, apart from going into Lyon airport and then getting a bus in the dead of night from Lyon to Grenoble, and then going out of town to Grenoble airport at Christmas. I've not left Grenoble. To be totally honest with you, I've kind of not left Grenoble. I mean, you'd know that, because I mean, I'm always seemingly around and bloody streaming, so it's like, of course I haven't really been anywhere, but yes, I haven't. I'd have made mention of it somewhere if I had. Probably tweeted about it. Do I just want to change the belts? Or do I want to change... no, just change the belts. Like, change as little as possible. Change as little as possible. I hadn't heard that particular rumour, I'll be honest. I went to a school league event once, but I've not been to. Like, I wanted to go to the Age of Sigmar Open Day or whatever it was called. I wanted to go to that, but it was in England whilst I was in France. There was no way I was going to be able to get a chance to go. I do want to go to something of that order. Like, I want to do a Warhammer Fest. I want to do events like that, but it's got to line up with the rest of my schedule. It's just very tight, unfortunately. Yeah, I did hear about Andre the Giant, actually. I think I remember hearing that, seeing an old entrance, a walkout entrance. I did see that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Has the pre-show started then? Don't tell me what happens, just has it started? Because obviously that his Memorial Battle Royal, since you're bringing it up, is on the pre-show. Hope Doom Turn is good at fast artillery roll at the score cannon, can do melee, but can still sit back and make points back at range. Possibly. Even if you get Daughters, you get a Doom Turtle. Well, this is the thing. Idoneth actually are really interesting in that way, because I think they actually synergize really well in a triple entente with the Stormcast and the Daughters. Because basically the Stormcast can arrive on turn 1, smash face whilst your Idoneth are protected, and then on turns 2 you can rush your Idoneth up and get your K-Knights in the back. Turn 3 the Idoneth smash in, do their thing. Turn 4 they pull out, the K-Knights come rushing in, and then in the late game your Daughters of Cain just carry you because they're absolutely energized to flip. And they smash each other at 10 minutes. It's an 11 o'clock start for me. They sometimes stream that on YouTube, I think. I might actually watch the armbar or the Women's Battle Royal just if I'm bored, because I can watch that for free because I haven't got the network and all that stuff. And like, I'm going to be way too tired for that in the morning if I stayed up to actually watch Mania, even if I got the network for free, and just no. And chill. I'm not going to be on for much longer, to be fair. I'm just going to finish this base coat and then I'm probably going to knock off as well. Do a Council of War style event, that would work. Yeah, if they did a triples tournament, or what you might do is have, like, you play doubles and then you have both players bring one of the trio as your ally, and then you can bulk it out to be enough to make it work. And it does cover a real wide range, because the Stormcast can hit really hard and have range support. And cavalry. The Idoneth hit like a bloody brick on turn 3, and your opponent can be pinned in by the Stormcast. And then when your opponent's army is on their last legs from that, the Idoneth pick them off. The Daughters of Cain, if they've not been dealt with, they're going to be at their most powerful and will just crash in and ruin everything. I haven't had a chance to watch the takeover. I know what happened and I've seen a couple of the highlights, but yeah, I've heard good things about the takeover. a lot of stuff, and I was amazed they put the title on Adam Cole. Like if they, well, sorry, I'm not surprised they put the title on Adam Cole, but I'm surprised they put the title on Adam Cole and didn't make Undisputed Era drop the title to Dunn and Strong. Like I didn't expect Adam Cole to do the double, even if he needed a lot of help. I did not expect a UE double. Like part of me thought Adam Cole was going to get called up to the main roster, and so they were going to have him not take the North American title, and then maybe let him leave Undisputed Era behind. But then again, they'd have to pull Undisputed Era up together, and that'll be like the next Shield. In doubles, that's something I think I would try if I had more than 700 in Stormcast. Well, to be fair, like in doubles, you're only playing like 2,000 or something, so you only need like 250 in allies, or 200 in allies. I've not seen anything of Moon versus Baszler, but fair enough. I've thought of playing an AS tournament. I suck at this game. You might have noticed, I suck at this game. Like, I manage to play it, but I generally suck. So, whilst that's an interesting idea, I'd much rather go to like a campaign weekend. So like do a narrative campaign weekend where I get to bring my army and contribute to like a local meta game and like a campaign. I'd much rather do that. Council of War is a team of 4, 2 games of singles, doubles, and a team game. Interesting. That is interesting. It almost sounds like a bit like the Davis Cup in the tennis, where you've got like doubles matches and singles matches that all combine together to get the final result. That's what it makes me think of. Don't need to apologise. And yes, the Emperor communicates telepathically. Okay, have I got everything? I'm not doing red on him, I'm doing blue. No. Good. They did it for 30k and it worked well. Oh, I bet it did. Last local one was 2.5k per player. Per player? Oh, bloody hell. In a 2,500 per player in doubles, or just ow, ouch. Where's the other rain? That's there. If there is, I'm not aware of it, nor do I care. Tactica versus Profane Witch Cult. Pyrophane. I much prefer that I have my, well, I have I play Dakka cast, don't I? Sort of with Vanguard Chamber. I sort of play Dakka Teleporty cast. So I'm kind of biased. Although, to be honest, I do suspect that if it's anything to do with Tzeentch, then it just out-murders everything, so it's not really a fair comparison. Favorite looking army, any system, any looks. Oh god. Like, obviously right now I'm kind of biased to say the Idoneth because they do look amazing. Generally I think AOS armies look better than 40k armies, though that may be just because they've not been around as long, they're not as established. Damn it, hang on a minute. Got you, you brute. Like, maybe because of the fact that they're a bit newer, the AOS armies maybe have our attention a bit more, but generally I think the AOS armies look spectacular. Like, almost all of them. Fire Slayers, Idoneth, Daughters of Cain look great. If I had a roommate, do you think I'd be able to live stream as often as I do? No, it's single rooms. It's generally halls of residence, both in Europe seem to be single rooms. You can share flats, but no, single rooms. As for the channel, I don't know. 40k Stories is going to continue. Hopefully I'll just be hobby and battle reports from time to time. Lore is still my calling. Lore is still what I'm better at. It's what I do. But I have to put my academia and I have to put my any future career options first, and so the channel will always play second fiddle to that because there's no way almost anyone in this community can make enough money to not have a job and do this. It's just not feasible. Rowan, you're in Coventry. I don't have a problem with the Fetid Bloat Drone. Like, the Korgorath I think is better, yes. Do I think the Fetid Bloat Drone is bad? No. Do I think the Bloat Drone is slightly worse than the Korgorath? Yes. Why are you asking the chat? You know the answer. I told you the answer. No. Would you have gone to the US if the chance arose? I mean, I could have actually transferred and gone to try and go to the US. Like, it was one of my other Phys Euro friends did do that. But I went to America on holiday a couple of years ago, and like that was enough for me. Like, I've never been super enamored with going to the US. Like, I kind of wanted to go to Canada, like Quebec, for my as part of the languages thing, because well, Quebec is francophone, but I've never been enamored with the US, no. Oh dear, now we're going to have a war in the chat. Here we go. Profane Cult. That's only the mage infantry, aka fair troops shooting the hero phase, and gives +1 for the phase for each of the troops that is shot at the target before them. A good at all same target force. Yeah, the Ether Strike force for the Stormcast has something similar where you can shoot with the units in the hero phase that are near where the target is near to Ether Wings. So it's sort of balanced like that. It's pretty decent, but it's like a bit of Vanguard Raptor, a bit of Judicator, and then you've got Night Venators, and then that Zero also has the same effect as the Ether Wings. So I get that. What point did I suddenly bring up politics? At what sudden point? I don't bring politics into it at all. I never discuss politics on the channel. For good damn reason. I mean, I've not played a full-on like Daka Stormcast army because that's full-on Judicator, Battle Lion, Vanguard Raptors, Vanguard Paladors probably. I've not seen it in full. I'd need to actually do the maths and compare the two one-to-one to see. But I would guess the Stormcast have more damage per attack, but the Tzeentch get more attacks. I would wager. It sort of varies. Pre-show. Ah, yes it is. Let's see if they're streaming it. Because sometimes they stream that live on YouTube and you can watch it. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, they are streaming the kickoff show. Might give that a look after I'm finished. Once we're done here, I might give that a look. Just pass the time. Wind it back and pass the time. Because this is actually my first Mania. I only really got into wrestling around the time of the Shield reunion. That was, I think, the first Raw highlights I saw was the Return of the Shield, so I've not been around for it that long. Right. Straight up, knock it off. We do not discuss politics on this channel with good damn reason. Knock it the fuck off. So a soldier is going to 40 kids. Oh! I didn't expect that. I did not expect that at all. That's intriguing. I wonder if it'll get run over the drop pod though, considering it's basically fulfilling the same role as the drop pod. Adjudicators, Lord Ordinator, 2 Lord Relictors, 2 health. Ah! Yeah, that's using allies though. I was thinking like pure Daka cast. Made images and numbers matter, also you may be right. I don't know. Like I'm purely speculating because the Stormcast don't rely on numbers; they rely on their actual damage output, with the exception of Hurricane Raptors, who do have ridiculous amounts of shots. Mostly, it is about damage output per shot rather than sheer weight of shots. Not putting that on. Is there anything else that needs painting red? Is there any other red? That's red than I was expecting. Heretic started music too. The rules are up at Forge World page if anyone's interested. Yeah, I might give that a look in a bit. Oh, they're going to give a... That's giving Chaos an actual drop pod then, and that one use Dreadclaws. Okay, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. And yes, we are. I'd just rather not because no. To be fair, you've got Rowan. Rowan is a lot slower to do. Like Ben would have been on that way faster. Dearie me. I never said that. I never said that. I said that it wasn't for me. I wasn't that enamoured with America. That's what I said. At no point did I say that. Drop it. What library book are you reading currently if you have one going on? I don't have one going on at the moment. I'm like, my reading material has generally been the Malign Important stories. So that's generally what I've been doing. It's not been too bad. I finished Devastation of Baal on my way back to France, from England. And then I almost finished it, and then I finished it off a couple of weeks later. But I haven't done much. I haven't done any reading since because I don't really want to be buying the books out here in French. It'll take me way too long to read them, and I want them as quick reference sources later. So I've not. Yeah, that's my basic thought process. So grey, yeah, grey. I'm not gonna. I can rewind the stream. The beauty of live streaming on YouTube is you can just rewind it and fast forward it as you wish, up to live, obviously. So I'll go back to the start and then just scroll through it until I find something interesting. Oh God, Ron, what have you done? Actually, maybe I don't want to know. I'm currently painting a Vanguard Palador for my Stormcast Eternals, just doing the base coat for the Griff Charger itself. So I'm going to just do this grey base coat and then maybe the black, and then I'm probably going to call it a night. So the black will take a while because that will include doing the rider's armour and things like that. So that will take a lot longer. To be honest, the grey is probably going to be the longest stage at the moment because of the feathers and stuff. Fun chat and painting must depart. Fair enough. See you later. I'm probably going to be streaming again probably Tuesday because I'm probably going to be trying to do Idoneth streams throughout the week. So I'll probably stream on Tuesday and then I can't stream Friday because of Podcastus, but I'll try and stream Tuesday and Thursday and then maybe Sunday. So you might get 3 streams next week. Building Glorianas for Gothic. Oh jeez. That's impressive. That's very impressive. Oh. Jesus. So when I wake tomorrow. Oh, and you can expect me also to stream Sunday, probably Sunday the 22nd, if not the Saturday, because I will have gone and bought the Idoneth Battle Tome, no doubt. I won't have bought any models, but I will have bought the Battle Tome, and so I'll have been reading it for lore, and I'll want to share that, as well as going over their rules. Stream I actually get models painted. Same! Same! This is why I like to stream so much, because it makes me get my painting done. 3 stream week. I think this week was was it a 3 stream week this week, or was it only a 2? But this was a 3 stream. I'm trying to stream like 3 times a week. Speak about imperial politics, nothing more. Imperial politics. Because that's actually quite intriguing. Any thoughts on the new Necron Codex? Looks decent. Can't say it's going to have hurt them. Probably just very, very fine. Top tier, probably not, but certainly decent enough. Yeah, 40k politics is fun. 40k politics is kind of intriguing, just like to see how the Inquisition works and the Senatorium Imperialis and all that stuff. It is fun. Did the chat just break? Politics of chaos are very, very simple. Don't mess with whoever's in charge or you die. When I covered the Warp and the Chaos Gods, I did discuss the Great Games. Like, I've discussed it in various videos. Like, I've done the Warp, I've done Demons and things like that. So that might be a good place for you to go and, like, get a basic grip. The Great Game is effectively the war between the Chaos Gods for dominance. It's never ending. Like I say, probably best you go and watch my Chaos Gods / the Warp video from a while ago, so you get a bit of an insight. It just means they always get better releases or coverage. No, releases, that's debatable, but 40k gets more. I don't know about better. 40k gets more. It's hard to say. Let's get a War in Heaven style game like Horus Heresy. Unlikely, because I don't think they ever want to really flesh out the War in Heaven as an entity and a thing in lore. Necrons of Net fun now. Glad to have the nothing is going to stop my advance, even destruction feel of walking through everything. That's very Necron. That's very Necron-y. I'm glad people are enjoying it. I really am. I just hope all the I just wish all the coders he's got that same sort of yeah. Sounds like Lorgar's abandoning his legion to join the Great Game. Yeah, he's probably just trying to observe it and trying to gain his own influence within it. A lot of the Demon Primarchs have done that. Their attention is on the Warp and the Great Game now. And I think I remember in the Fantasy End times, Khorne rips a tear in reality and hacks away with his sword for a bit. He could do something similar, as in rip a hole in reality. Khorne can do that. I know Khorne can do that. I've never seen Khorne actually attack anyone in reality. But in terms of ripping a hole in reality, I'm 99% Khorne can do it. Happy with the AOS list of the past year, agreed. Hope for more good ones, agreed. Just, we need more of them, and like by volume, we just needed more. And I said that all the way back in December. What we get is great, we just need more. It needs to come out faster because people want more, and we need to keep people engaged in getting into this game. Look, I'm losing because he sucks. That's personal opinion. Lorgar is not one of my favourites, I'll admit that, but does he suck as a character? That's harder to say. Like, he's a well-written character, I just don't like him as a character. There is a subtle difference there between being a good character and being a likeable character, and he's, to me, not likeable, even though he is objectively, I think, well-written. When 40k slows down, I reckon we get a load of AOS stuff. I really hope so. Like, once the 40k codices have had their run and everyone's got a codex, I think they'll like balance it out so 40k will become like AOS. It gets campaign books, armies get updated from time to time if they need it, there's new model releases, whereas AOS gets all the books in the world really, really quickly, and I'm hoping that that's the case. Although admittedly, I understand why AOS is slower, because they have to actually get models out for these things in many cases. It's not just a case of throwing a book out, it is a case of getting actual models and designs out. So I understand why it takes longer, but yeah. Several actors of Khorne can cut into reality, but as for Khorne himself, we've only seen him backhand Scarbrand, so yeah. True. Also, Erebus is an excellent bad guy. Yeah, Erebus, again, I'm going to slip into wrestling technology, is the perfect heel. Like, everybody hates him. And we love to hate him. Erebus is a fantastically written bad guy. Erebus is fantastically written because he's designed in such a way that you're supposed to hate him, and you are supposed to love to hate him, and you do. Solid 30 everyone at level 3 cast. Yeah, like as on the tabletop, yeah. I doubt he does suck, but lore-wise is a different debate. We don't generally talk about tabletop comparing with lore. They do, however, have more room to be creative in AOS, less law to screw up or retcon, and less people to re-angry when you do something they don't like. I suppose you have a point in that sense. There's certainly less to retcon, they can actually be a lot more free with their lore creation. But being creatively free comes with its own set of challenges, like coming up with something believable and creative and that fits within the canon you do have. So it's a bit of 6 and 2 3s. Like, it's great in some ways for the creativity, but it's bad in some other ways because they actually have to be able to create it and come up with it, and that's not always easy. How about Corferin? Corferin's very similar, like, you're just supposed to not like him so you don't. Still better written than Rust. Ooh! Fire shots. Shots fired at Lehman Russ. Right, have I got every bit there? Because it's kind of hard to tell when I'm doing things in grey. Oh, that's double savage from Rowan. Rowan's coming in with the double savage of Russ, and if Ben is still here, he's probably seething. He's seething with rage. The inner wolf in him just wants to burst out and scream in primal fury at his Primal being disrespected. And I should shut up now because he'll probably savage me for it if he's still here. I'd also like how Corferin is written. I've not read so much about Corferin, but I'm sure he is well written. I don't doubt that. As I said, next stream is probably going to be Tuesday, because that just suits my timetable. And we'll probably be discussing the Idoneth again, and I'll hopefully be finishing this Palador off if I haven't done so already. So yeah, Tuesday most likely, although I make no promises. Laura is better written than Russ because Cheese is better written. Oof. Savage. Savage. Imagine Russ as Brian Blessed. I don't know, a serious man just did nothing wrong guy who gets super mad if you disagree. Some people do get a little bit over salty about the lore. And to those people I say, yeah, I get it. It is always an interesting discussion, but please chill. It's fine. Like, some people are very salty about the Blood Ravens lore because of everything. Some people do get super salty. In fact, the politics of the Imperium is actually quite interesting. Like, looking into the Senatorum Imperialis, the High Lords of Terra, how the Administratum and the Mechanicus and the Inquisition all juggle. It is actually quite interesting. If you read into it, it is actually quite fascinating. And all the other factions as well, like the Drukhari and all the mind games that go on in Commorragh. And there's probably some quite deft manoeuvring done by the Craftworld Eldari. Tau, it's harder to know, but there's probably some done. Politics in 40k is actually quite fascinating to follow, and just learn about. Lion. Oh, Lion. I like how Lion is written, but I can see why people disagree. Yeah, Lion's a bit of like, I don't care about Lion. Like, Lion's a character that just, oh, he's there. Good to know. I've never, like, as much as I did research on Lion for 40k stories, I don't know, I didn't find him that interesting. He's just there. Yes, I did. No real life politics. Is that not obvious? Like, I do 40k for a living. I've discussed the various things that go on in 40k's workings before, many times. Just keep it to the fantasy of Warhammer 40,000. I keep it to that. That's what I always ever do. And I like all the stuff with Lion and Curse, basically Lion being the Lion and Nighthaunt and mugging him off. Yeah, the Thramas Crusade is kind of interesting. I'd need to go and look into it again, because I did read about it, but I'd need to go back digging through it. But Thramas Crusade was pretty interesting. Done. Is there anything on here that needs to be done? Yeah, the legs. And that piece. Like the contrast between Lion, an animal raised by knights, and Kurz, an animal who, well, to be fair, Kurz raised himself. Kurz grew up alone in Nostromo Quintus. He didn't really have a family at all. He was raised in a world of violence, yes. But yeah, I don't think Kurz was raised by anyone save himself. Did you read him on Scoria? I did the Dark Mechanicum, didn't I? So I did the Dark Mechanicum like last week, or the week before, I did the Dark Mechanicum, so yeah, I did get a chance to read up on Scoria. Tabletop model slaps around price. Oh god. I didn't realise I could imagine him being powerful. I didn't realise he was that powerful. Anything else, Scoria? Right, have we got everything? I'm not sure I've got a place to put that. Oh no, it'll probably sit on the... Like the big brother, little brother thing lying in Gilliman having unremembered empire. Well, that's one word for it, I suppose. Is that still there? Not that fussed about it. Right. Oh, one more piece. Just the thingamajig on this foot. Stirrup, that's the word I'm looking for. Stirrup. That is a stirrup, right? I bet that's a stirrup. Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it? Right. One more paint, do the black, and then I've got the talons done, and actually the entire griff charge will be base coated, and then I think that'll be a good place to call it a night. Although I did miss the red on the spear, so I need to fix that quickly. Yeah. 5 times auto wound, AP 2D, 3 wounds, spill over, now, oh my god, Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous stats. That is utterly ridiculous. I mean, that's probably 2 or 3 D3 wounds per round. I mean, after factoring in for hit rolls, which are probably going to be about 4s at best, because Primarchs, and then invulns. Barely remember 7th. It has been a while. Like it's been a while since I looked into 7th as a rule set, and I think I'd certainly have to go and refresh my memory before I went and played a game of it again. And then I'd play it and remember, yeah, this is why we're playing 8th now. This is why most people didn't stick to 7th after the transition, I suspect. I'm sure there will be people who stuck with 7th and play it, but Scoria is banned in a few heresy events. With stats like that, I wouldn't even be shocked if he is on people's ban lists. T6, 2 up, 3 up, and then 6 wounds, it will not die, and fill up. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is what we call ludicrous on toast. That is absolutely what we call ludicrous on toast. I forgot that now. Harris is amazing. 30k is actually probably very, very well balanced because all the armies are almost identical, being Space Marines. And then you've got Mechanicum as your outlier, and then you've got the Solar Auxiliary, I suppose. But yeah, I bet 30k is actually really, really well balanced for the most part. I know it won't be perfectly balanced, nothing is, but yeah. Still remember just something like 8 Bloodthirst in my Corn Demon army and still losing, Jesus. Yeah, I can definitely see why that would be rage-inducing, I definitely can. 315, oh my god, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty silly. That's pretty silly. Heresy works in 7th because there's a limit on stupid allies and combos. 7th will get too much to balance with allies on top of the combos and the codex formations, etc. Yeah, there was maybe, I think 7th was trying to do too much by the end. A bunch of great ideas, but that could never be balanced together. Need a more combat system for Heresy to really build up some depth. Yeah, the problem is you've got to then be careful that you don't end up playing like 7th Wars where it was just completely unmanageable. It's just the balance that they have to strike with the game balance of 7th and 30k now. But I trust Forge well. Why is he Primarch level? I think it's just to give Dark Mechanicum someone who can actually handle the Primarchs, who can counter the Primarchs, because the Mechanicum obviously don't get them. The Dark Mechanicum neither. I don't think the detachment system in 8th is as bad as the formations of 7th, because they don't provide additional nonsense benefits. They just give you more command points to allow you to do occasionally ridiculous combos. I personally don't think they're as bad, but they can certainly be exploited and manipulated, I'll agree. Sponsoring casual terms definitely in competitors. Oh yeah, but to be fair, in tournaments you'd never expect anything other than utterly degenerate things. That's just what you expect in tournaments. You expect the system to be abused and pushed to its extremes, to be borderline broken. And casually it does work. It allows you to create slightly thematic armies and get benefits for doing so. I don't know. I think formations were worse, but detachments have the potential to be pretty annoying. Are you talking pre or post nerf? Because the Tau have been nerfed in terms of commanders. Yes, they get loads of command points, but an army of just commanders and drones, it was utterly generally stupid. But then you also have to take troops. Yes, I did see your silly 1000 point outrider detachment that was just hilariously weird. Welcome to Dark Souls. Yeah, you make a fair point. Should I do that in black or in silver? I'll do it in silver. Red tag got South of Sinner's Prime, then it's another ship I have to build. Yeah. All the ships that were there. Yeah, that's a very worthy goal, and have fun and good luck. I certainly don't envy you for that. It'll look amazing when it's done. I bet it'll be a really rewarding project to work on, especially when it's finished, just seeing what you've done. The Iron Blood from the servo haulers. It's a massive bulldozer. That would be pretty ridiculous. And admittedly, as long as it doesn't have any windows, it'll be fine. I know the Iron Blood is depicted a certain way, but if you can make it look even cooler, go for it, I say. Alpha armies, it takes a skill hand to have less more than the enemy, usually. Kinda. Yeah, it'd be an army that would be quite difficult to pull off, but if you could pull it off, it would be absolutely glorious to see. Like, it's one of those armies you just kind of wouldn't mind getting beaten by. Made a note to actually keep up with painting my AOS. I thought you have hundreds of unpainted ones I'll never finish. Well, everyone makes hobby goals. I hope you can keep yours. I'm more taken with AOS than I just prefer the armies in the system. The system has its flaws, which mainly to me are flat wound rolls and double turn, which double turn annoys me so much. And also I like the 40k system of charging units fight first. Like, I really like that, and I think AOS could borrow that in its next patch. But the models, I think, definitely are more captivating with AOS. And if the lore is well handled, it could actually be good enough. Yeah. Gotta start reading some AOS Black Libraries. I do too. Like, the Malign Portent stories have been great. Probably the best place to start would be with the Realm Gate Wars. Like, they were the first ones published, so they're probably the best introduction to it. I can't recommend any in particular because I've not read them myself, but the Realm Gate Wars is probably a safe place to start. And I think like some of the early ones in the Realm Gate Wars will have included the Bloodbound because the first strikes were in Act Sheet. Perturabo is isn't having no windows on his flags and it stands in the torpedo tube, so he can look out the window. Yeah. My apologies, Rowan. I'm not leaving. I'm still in the middle of doing some painting, so get your question in. Go for it now. Make it good, if you can. in it. Don't mind losing to it though, it can be disrupted by well-played armor, but seriously, 2d6 mortal wounds each, shooting twice. Yeah, some rather silly things can be done. Right enough, take care. I'm not going to be on for much longer. I'm realised I'm on way later than I expected to be. I'm just going to get this basically on this armour, and then I'm going to knock off for the night. Undying King, okay. That's one worth looking into then. Keep that one in mind myself. It's coming that strongly recommended, I should probably keep that one in mind. Your Imperium Xenos Alliance video was really good. I was just wondering what you thought about the Imperium kind of allying with non-conventional Xenos races. For example, maybe they can figure out that's a two-parter. Okay, I'll hang on a minute before I answer that. A way to work with the Hive Fleet. Not with Tyranids. There's no way the Imperium would ally with Tyranids. The Hive Minders would not be reasoned with. Not a chance. Not a chance, I'm afraid. That one is a absolute nope. Okay, good. Nurgle is the main bad guy. Interesting. Apologies for the extended silence, kind of just concentrating. Nurgle is never bad. Maybe allying is a strong one, shifting the focus on the other races towards attacking chaos. That's kind of what the Eldari does all the time. Just like divert the attention towards someone else. That's kind of how the entire like Octarius War started, if I remember right. Critman directing the Tyranids at the Orcs to try and have the two empires, two races, factions break each other. Didn't work, they're now stronger than ever. So the record of that working is not good. Since Critman tried and Critman failed. I think the Roundgate Wars is just a good place to start. It always is. Like it's kind of like telling someone to read the first 3 books of the Horus Heresy. You just kind of have to start there if you want to get into it. Just read the first few books in that series. You don't have to read them all, but because if I'd made that analogy with the Horus Heresy, then well, you'd still be here in 10 years' time trying to read them all. But today's about Pharos. How do we calculate the points if that detachment has to drop 1 Seeker and a Hellflare for 1,000 points, or could drop a few more Seekers to keep the Hellflare? I think you want the damage output of the Hellflare more than you want the numbers of the Seekers, just because you need the DPS. I don't know. That's what I would argue, is you want to keep the Hellflare. But then again, I kind of like big shiny things, so... Pollux and Dantiok are cool. I'll agree with that. Pollux and Dantiok are very cool. Horus Rising I didn't love the other 2. Oh, that's interesting. Generally, I've not seen most people go against Horus Rising or False Gods or Galaxy and Flames. Generally, they've all gone over extremely well and been extremely popular with everybody. That's interesting to hear. Painting precise things on stream is not good for stream interaction. Sure, the Great Battle for the Abyss was the weakest. I've heard Descent of Angels was really bad. Like really a slog to read. Like Remley's really struggled to read that. I can't say for myself in particular. I've heard really not good things about Descent of Angels. Oh my god, how have I managed to stream for 3.5 hours? That was completely unintentional. I guess I just shouldn't have started painting. That was my mistake. I should not have started painting. Pollux was in Alexis the captain of the Imperial Fist. Yes, Alexis Pollux, captain of the Imperial Fist. Later founder of the Crimson Fist. Actually. Damnation of Pythos. That's not a heresy book though. I think Battle for the Abyss and everything like that is a heresy book. So I think that was more the nature of the debate, was the heresy books rather than anything else. What was Damnation of Pythos, sir? I don't think that was a heresy era book. Haven't read it. I generally take whatever Ram says with a boat full of salt. He's quite inclined to hyperbole. He can exaggerate sometimes, but generally when he gets... He always gets his facts right, but I suppose I can see what you're saying. I'll try and shout and kill them because they're not so inclined that way, I guess. I guess they just don't see the point, or the need, or the want to do so. I can't really say any more than that. It's a heresy book, has Davenant Lodge Priest in it. Ah, fair enough. Right. Have I missed a bit? No, I don't think so. Done that. So anything on the frame that I particularly need to do, and then I'm going to call it, I think. So yeah, let's just do these bits here. Come on. Someone's favourite Black Library books? Ooh, that's a question. I'm honestly unsure of my answer to that. I'm genuinely unsure. Oh my god, I've got to do the legs. God damn it. I genuinely don't know what my answer to that would be. I've read some really good ones. A lot of really good ones. Do you paint the rims of your bases? With some armies I do, with some that's not my Tau I did it. I haven't done it with my Stormcast. I have not done it with my Stormcast, but I did do it with my Tau, and I probably should do it with my Stormcast, but I don't have my brown paints on me because I left them in England. Like, if I had my brown paints with me, I might have been so inclined to do so, but I don't, so I didn't. Generally, though, I do. Night Lord's Trilogy, Time of Legends. Interesting choices. Interesting choices all. Probably one of the Eisenhorn books. That makes sense. Eisenhorn is extremely popular. Oh, god damn, I didn't do the line inside the legs. How are you I'm not undercoating. I don't undercoat. I've never undercoated. Like, the only model I undercoated in the last 3 years was Farsight and Magnus because they're resin. I don't undercoat plastic models. I never have. And not in a long time have I undercoated. The Gash books. Okay, that's good. That's an interesting one. I've now got a very confused Rowan on my hands, I think. I know I'm a terrible painter, you don't need to tell me. Titan graphic novel doesn't count. That's a graphic novel involving Titans. That's just not fair. a lot better. I get by. I know I'm ashamed to Duncan and the painting tutorial people, but I get by. They're serviceable. I certainly don't varnish, no. The only time I've ever put varnish on was to get a sheen effect on my bloody battles, on my towel. Like, I wanted to get a glossy, like a midnight blue that was like shiny. So I put gloss varnish on my towel. That's it. That's the only time I've ever used varnish. Do I order was? I actually don't. I probably should, but I don't. I see. Which is biggest and strongest and trash on table. They need a codex and they need buffs. Many of. At least no one said a Goto book. Harsh but true. Harsh but true. Oh, I'm not surprised that they're really good. Like all Black Library stuff is really high quality, like no doubt about it. I'm not sure if it's still around. There was a humble bundle. Yes, there was a humble bundle. I don't know if it's still available though. They're generally not around for that long, humble bundles. But if you did get one, then all the best to you. I personally didn't. It's like I just don't have the time to read the fiction right now. Got enough going on. Thoughts on the whole Forest Manor being rebuilt theory thing? First I've heard of it, in all honesty. First I've heard of it. Hope it's not true. Could do without cybernetically rebuilt Primarchs. That could just shove off. If it happens, it happens. I'm not going to say it's my favourite idea, and it's not a pitch I would accept, but if I were one of the Black Library teams say, hey, we want to pitch this idea to get Forest Manors back, I would say no. Sisea, I've not played with them, they're not my style. They're alright. Like, I'm sure that someone who actually plays Tau more recently than I have will be able to tell you that they're probably reasonable. I don't know if they're the best, because Borkan is probably the best, but they seem like a decent choice. I wasn't even playing in first edition. Like, I was born in 3rd edition. So I certainly don't have any first edition models. Certainly not Eldari, I've never collected them. Oh my god, my back hurts now. Well, no, it doesn't, but it could in 5 minutes if I'm not careful. If you believe in the Imperial Demon theory, then you can go with that. But Sanguinius' soul is trapped in the vengeful spirit, so how would it be created? Just a small spanner in the works there. Just need to put a little bit of gold, grey in the back of the legs, and then I'll call it a night. Because I realise I've gone really, really long without intending to. Leave Sanguinius dead, it's always been my opinion. Like, if you bring him back, then be very careful about how you handle it. I personally would just rather him be dead for the sake of the plot. I think he's better off dead. Well, the plot is better off with him dead. causes less confusion at any rate. Right, and with that, I think we're done. I think we are done. So, thank you very much for coming out, everybody. That was an experience. We got to discuss the Idoneth, which was really good. I've got a fair bit of hobby done, which is lovely, and I'm glad I've done that tonight because I always need to do more hobby. So, as I said, next stream I'm hoping to do it on Tuesday. We'll go over the Namati and probably the Isharan, or maybe the Akelians, I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll go over whatever's next for the Idoneth because I'm always intrigued to know what they're going to do. And we will probably get this palette all finished because I've done most of the base coat at this point. It shouldn't take me much longer to finish it off. So yes, I do hope you did enjoy that stream. Sorry for some of the chicanery and nonsense with the bands toward the end. I wish that hadn't had to happen, but it's the way it went, unfortunately. But that's all, I suppose. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, as always. Thank you very much for watching. It's been Tactica Imperialis, and make sure you tune in tomorrow for my thoughts on video, and I'll see you all again. Good night.